NATO ships are on their way to the Aegean Sea for a mission to crack down on human smuggling. It follows an agreement reached on Monday by NATO defence ministers to tackle smuggling networks. Germany, Greece and Turkey proposed the plan as refugees continue to try and reach Europe by sea. The International Organisation for Migration says more than 76,000 refugees have arrived that way since the beginning of the year. Well, Jon Brain is in the Turkish city of Ayvalik and joins us now. Jon, good to see you there. So what difference is NATO's presence in the region going to make then? How big a development is this?
Well, it is a fairly significant development, Paul. We are expecting the first of the warships here in these waters within the next few hours. It's the first time NATO has intervened in the refugee crisis, but it's important to point out that it won't intervene directly. The warships will simply provide information to the Turkish and Greek coast guards with their superior surveillance powers. They'll only actually get directly involved if there's a danger to life. For example, if one of the refugee dinghies is sinking and there's a risk of refugees drowning, then they will rescue them and they'll bring them back to the Turkish side. But they won't be arresting smugglers themselves, they won't be pushing the boats back. It is really about providing information. And the success or failure of this mission is entirely dependent on how that information will be used by the Turkish and Greece authorities.
Jon, we've got those figures of 76,000 who have made the journey since the start of this year alone. Is this a reaction then to the fact that despite the fact it's winter, the numbers of people trying to make that journey, it just continues?
Yes, absolutely. As you say, 76,000 since the start of the year. We're not even in the middle of February yet. And of course, there are tens of thousands more massed on the Syrian border who have fled from Aleppo, whose aim is at least to get into Turkey. Many of those, it's assumed, will want to carry on and try and get into Europe. Europe clearly very concerned about this. But for refugees, even getting to Europe, it doesn't mean their problems are over. And as our correspondent Alina Kass reports from Belgium, she's been following a Syrian family as they try and find a home in Europe.
Nabil fled Homs in 2012 to escape conscription to the Syrian army. He met his wife Fada in a Lebanese refugee camp, and they've since had children, 2-year-old Mohammed and baby Saoud. After travelling through North Africa, reaching Europe via a boat from Morocco, and 10 months waiting to find out if they'd been accepted for asylum status, they're now settling into their new home in rural Belgium. In the small town of Boering, near the French border, they found a home in the ruins of a medieval abbey, thanks to a charity that finds landlords who will agree to take refugee tenants.
From the moment that people receive refugee status, they have 2 months to the day to leave state-provided accommodation. It's very difficult for them to find private landlords who will rent to them, so this is where we intervene.
This house belongs to a Catholic charity, but it's a group of ordinary local residents who decided to rent it on behalf of refugees. They've used their own money to furnish it, and now the family have moved in, they hope to welcome their new neighbours to the rural community. One local resident even offered to guarantee the family's rent, as well as create a network of local people who can offer them help with things like childcare and understanding the local bureaucracy. In this rural town, there's no Arabic-speaking community, and they're the first refugees to apply for residency at this town hall. But Nabil believes his family can build a new life here.
We had looked everywhere for a home and couldn't find anything. Now I feel really optimistic. We're really happy. We want to learn to speak French first, and then I was a football player in Syria, so I hope I can find a team to join here and meet people that way.
2-year-old Mohammed will go to the village nursery school, while local teachers have volunteered to give his parents French lessons. Charities like Caritas say that if Europe is to find homes for the hundreds of thousands of people who've applied for asylum in the last year, many more communities will have to follow this town's example. Elena Casas, TRT World, Boering, Belgium.